Once upon a time, in a quiet mountain village, there lived a young man named Arjun. He was a stone cutter, a simple worker who spent his days breaking rocks under the hot sun. His hands were rough, his clothes torn, and his pay was barely enough to feed his mother and younger sister. But Arjun had a dream, a big one. He wanted to become a sculptor, not just a man who broke stones, but one who shaped them into art that people admired. Every night, after his long day's work, he would sit near the mountain and carve small figures out of leftover stone pieces. They weren't perfect, but they were his. Still, people laughed. "Arjun, you're a laborer, not an artist," they said. "You should be grateful for what you have. Dreams don't feed families." Arjun would smile quietly, wipe his sweat, and go back to work. One morning, while cutting stone, his hammer slipped and hit his hand. Pain shot through his arm and blood trickled down. He sat on the ground, defeated. The mountain seemed taller that day, heavier. He whispered, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just wasting time." As he sat there, an old monk who often passed by stopped and asked, "Why do you look so troubled, my son?" Arjun sighed. "I've been working for years, but nothing changes. I dream of becoming a sculptor, but no matter how hard I try, I fail. My hands bleed. My efforts vanish like dust." The monk smiled gently and pointed to a massive rock nearby. "Do you see that rock?" he asked. "Yes," Arjun said. "I've watched you strike it for months." The monk continued. "You hit it hundreds of times and nothing happens. But one day it will split open. Not because of that last strike, but because of all the strikes before it. Every hit mattered, even the ones that showed no result." Those words sank deep into Arjun's heart. He stood up, wiped his tears, and said, "Then I'll keep striking." From that day, he worked differently. Every blow of his hammer carried purpose. Every mistake became a lesson. When others rested, he practiced carving. When they mocked him, he smiled, remembering the monk's words, "Every strike matters." Months passed. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, Arjun was working on a giant piece of marble. He had been carving it for weeks. His muscles ached, but his spirit was steady. He raised his hammer one more time, and crack! The marble split perfectly, revealing a magnificent figure inside. A lion, powerful and proud, as if it had been waiting for him all along. Villagers gathered in awe. The same people who once laughed now stared in silence. News of his work spread beyond the village. Soon, people came from nearby towns to see the young sculptor who could make stones come alive. Arjun's dream had finally taken shape, not overnight, but through patience, persistence, and belief. Years later, when the monk returned, he found Arjun surrounded by his sculptures, smiling humbly. The monk asked, "Do you remember what I told you about the rock?" Arjun nodded. "Yes, master. It took 1,000 strikes to break, but every strike was worth it." The monk smiled and said, "No mountain is too strong, no dream too far, if your will is stronger than your pain." Moral of the story: success doesn't happen overnight. It's built strike by strike, effort by effort. You may not see progress today, but every step forward counts. Every failure shapes you, every setback strengthens your roots. When life feels heavy and you think of giving up, remember Arjun, the stone cutter who refused to quit. Keep striking, keep believing, and one day your moment will come, and the world will see the masterpiece you were carving all along.